Good morning. Good morning. I never know if these are your names or your usernames, but I'm going to go for it. Good morning, Campbell. Good morning, Chanel. Good morning, Soul Sista. Good morning, Macrame. I like that one. Good morning, Kaylee. I'm doing great. How are you? Good morning, Emily. Good morning, Cassie. Good morning, Mama Cass. Russie D. Good morning. Good morning, guys. I'm coming in a little late. I've been trying to come in at 7:30, but it is the first day of school. And we are here in Texas, doing distance learning, so that takes a fair amount of effort. I am hiding out in my room for a minute, and I first of all would like to just shout out every single teacher on planet Earth. I want to shout out every parent who maybe you haven't started school, maybe you have. Tell me if y'all have started yet. If you have kids, have you started yet, or are you starting? Give me the date y'all are starting. Just want to love on you guys. Anybody who's trying to figure that out today, it is a real thing. It is 100% a real thing. And I'm going to straight up tell you that I ask for all the help in the absolute world. So we are super blessed. Our families had the same nanny for many years. So God bless her. She's here today. And that has been such a gift, especially in a season where the kids are in two separate houses, because they have that continuity in their schedule wherever they go. So she's here. And then also, because I'm just all the help, we have a college age gal who's a sitter of ours who is also here this morning. Playing with Noah for a couple of hours, because we truly needed the nanny on one child, me on the other, and then someone with Noah. And I understand how freaking lucky and blessed I am to be able to ask for that much help, but that is what it took today. Got the kids up early. We did, first day of school breakfast, chocolate chip pancakes and bacon, and we all had sort of breakdowns getting on computers, making sure we have login information. Both my older boys are in middle school, which means they have A schedule and B schedule. So I have about 10,000 emails right now of like different Zoom links. It's all the things. So that's why I'm a little late today. And I just want to acknowledge everybody who's trying to figure it out. The teachers in our school district, and I'm sure teachers all over the world, how hard they are working to learn to navigate this and to make sure that people have what they need. And I guess what I would say, we have several teachers in our family, and so I hear the stories of how people are working. And I wasn't here last Friday because I was getting all the kids' stuff, and I went over to the school and I was like, oh, how was your summer? And they were like, man, we were in this. We were trying to figure out how we were going to navigate this. So there wasn't really a summer. So I just want to honor all the teachers. And my thing today, I know that some of you don't have kids, some of you are college students, but can we all just give each other the benefit of the doubt? Let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Like this morning with the kids' middle school, I was I have all these emails, which is very confusing. And I was like, man, I wish that they could have just sent the kids' schedule for A day and B day and then a Zoom link to each one. I just wish it was that organized. And then I was like, Rachel, what technology do you think that they just have that they can just make that happen for you? And I was like, right, shut up. We're all doing our best. We're doing our best. And that made me think of today what I want to talk about, this idea of your best, whether it comes to a new school year or showing up the best you can in your life or showing up the best you can for your friends. What does it mean to be the best? And I have a little bit of a different definition than maybe we're used to hearing. I think that when we talk about this idea of best, right? I even looked up the definition this morning before I came to hang out with you. The idea of best is you are the best in your field. You are, the top of the class. You're the best baseball player. You're the best football player. You're the best one there is. And so when you hear the idea of doing your best, I think that somehow we're tricked into this idea that our best should be the best. Are you tracking that with me? That our best is supposed to be the best that there is. And the reality is that our best is the best that we are capable of doing in this moment, in this day, in this week. And if we could adjust our ideas about what the best is for us, I think we would have so much less shame. I think we would be so much more forgiving. I think we would love ourselves so well if we could just do the best for us. So whatever you're stepping into this week, or maybe you're like me and you're going to parent some kids through a new school year, maybe you're in a hard season, whatever it is, your best looks like the best that you can do today. And my best some days shocks me. I'm like, okay, we came to play. All right, Rach, let's do it. And some days my best makes me sad because I'm like, what the heck was that? That's all you've got? But if I can be honest with myself about where I really am and what I really can contribute, I am so much better able to bounce back and move in the other direction. So the key to doing your best in as many situations as you possibly can is preparation. Hands down, you being prepared is how you are able to show up as your best. The best version of you is never going to be an accident. The best version of you will never happen on accident. The best version of you is about prep work. The best version about you is about intentionality. The best version of you is about you thinking in advance, okay, and I have this thing today, and how do I want to show up? It's why I'm so adamant about a morning routine. It's why I believe in journaling. It's why I believe in a gratitude practice, because you're taking that time to slow down and be thoughtful about where you want to head from here. So the best version of you is something that you have to prepare for yesterday or last week. We tend to, I talked about this a lot in my book, so forgive me if I'm repeating this for you, but we tend to revert to our highest level of training, okay? When we're under duress, when something is hard, when we're feeling stressed out, we revert to our highest level of training. So if you have, the example I always use is running. If you have worked up and you can run 3 miles without stopping, and that's the highest that you can go, then on the days where it gets hard, on the days that you're pushing yourself, your body will naturally revert to what it knows for sure you are capable of. It's why they say that everything great happens outside of our comfort zone, because we have to push past what our brain tells us is possible for our lives. And so if you will revert to your highest level of training, that means that you need to be constantly training for what it is that you want to be able to do tomorrow. So in order for this day to not be a stressful, crazy mess, we had to prep. We had to prep by making sure that there was help, right? And I know that not everybody gets that opportunity, but that was how I prepped for this day. I prepped by talking to the kids last night about how this morning was going to go. I prepped by laying out my menu. I talked to you guys last week about how I make a menu for the kids and I tape it on the refrigerator. So I laid out my menu and I did my grocery shopping so that when they got here, we had a great dinner for a night before, first day of school. And then I got up this morning and straight up, I do not wake up and make my kids a hot breakfast. I don't. I know mamas who do that, think it's so awesome. That's not really my thing. I tend to focus on dinners. It was the first day of school, and I really wanted to do something special because that's something my mom always did for me. And so all of that required me to prep in advance. Whenever I am about to start a work day, right? I always, the night before my work day, are you guys doing this? I look at the calendar. What are the meetings tomorrow? Who is it that I need to show up as? Am I going to need to be a leader on the top of her game tomorrow? Am I going to need to be a creator? Like I'm going to spend the day writing? I want to know in advance what my best is going to need to be tomorrow. I want to know in advance how I need to do my nutrition. What do I need? When do I get my workout in? How do I need to be drinking my water? Do I need to do some time in meditation? Do I need to do some time in prayer? Like I am constantly thinking about how I can be the best version of myself today. And then when you go out and you are the best version that you can be of yourself today, it has to be enough. It has to be enough. Because there are days where the best, like I said, is amazing. And then there are days where my best feels a little disappointing. Because my best today maybe wasn't as good as the last time I tried this thing. Or my best today wasn't as good as a couple of days ago. But I have to honor where I am emotionally, physically. Did I get enough sleep last night? I have to do my best. Here's a great example. I wake up 4:35 a.m. every single day. Except lately, I have been having insomnia. It's something that I have had throughout my life, typically in seasons of stress. I have gotten insomnia. Shout out to anybody else who gets insomnia. It's very hard for me to shut my brain off. And especially in a season like this one, where so many things are unsure and so many things are new, and I'm trying to help the kids navigate and all of the stuff, all the feelings, all the things. I have insomnia right now. And sleep is my everything. And I'm not really getting great sleep. And I'm trying every trick that I know. I'm doing everything that I can think of. I'm not having stimulants after 12 o'clock. I'm, no technology. I'm reading books that are pretty dry and boring. Like, I'm doing everything. And I shut the lights off and I lay there for 2 hours. And I'm just like, and it's not even necessarily anxious thoughts. Sometimes it's anxious thoughts, and sometimes it's like, what would a purple unicorn look like? Like, who knows what this brain is going to think of as I'm trying to fall asleep. But it means that I'm not getting the sleep that I would normally get. And this morning, this might not seem like a big deal to you guys. Maybe this sounds silly. But this morning, the alarm went off at 5. And I was like, I can't. I did not sleep. I do not have enough hours. I could tell in my body. And I was like, I'm going to do one more hour. I'm going to go till 6. Because if I go to 6, I can still... hello, Deb. I miss you. I was just thinking about you yesterday. I need one more hour. And if I go to 6, I can still get up and do all the things I need to do with the kids. And that might not seem like a big deal, except for me, where my morning routine is everything. It's a pretty sacred practice in my life. How I would have handled that a year ago or 2 years ago is I would have started some sort of mental talk to myself about, yep, you're slipping. You don't have this. You're not really committed. You tell people that you love a morning routine, but you don't really get up it's ridiculous. The things that pop into my head, and probably the things that pop into your head. And really in this process of learning to be honest with myself about, is this the best I can do today? Because some days I ask myself that question, is this the best I can do? And I'm like, you know what? No, let's go. Let's do another mile. Let's write 1,000 more words. Let's call me, mom, papa and check in on them. Let's spend some time with the kids. Let's play a board game. By asking myself that question, is this the best that you can do? Is this the best that you can contribute? There are many days where I am my own life coach and I'm like, no, it's not the best you can do. Let's finish this day knowing that we gave our all in this moment. But if I'm honest about that, on a day like today where I wake up and I'm like, I need another hour, then the beauty of that is self-acceptance, self-love, the understanding that every single day is not going to look the same, and I'm going to do the very best that I can in this day. Alicia just said, self-compassion is huge. Absolutely. This idea that we should love ourselves, with the same love and joy and care that if you have a child, if you have a best friend, if you have a partner, ask yourself that question today. Do you love yourself? Do you truly love yourself? My best friend, Beans, and I were talking about this on the podcast a few weeks ago. We were talking about this idea. Both of us grew up in the Christian faith. I know we have all sorts of people here. We love you and all the faiths, and you're welcome in the space. But Beans and I grew up in the Christian faith. And the tenet of the Christian faith is love thy neighbor as thyself. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And what Beans pointed out to me that I have never thought about before, because I always just think about the first part of that sentence, love thy neighbor. That's the tenet. We're called to love our neighbor. But Bean said, if you read the full passage, then you actually have to realize that you are supposed to love yourself. Do you actually love yourself? Because if you don't love yourself, well, there's a very good chance that you're not going to love your neighbor, right? And so asking yourself this question of like, How am I taking care of and accepting today who I am today for who I am today? And when I lay my head on the pillow at night, I want to know that I've done the very best I can with what I've been given. But what I've been given is different from day to day. Some days are super stressful, right? Some days you feel fantastic. Some days something really exciting happens and it makes it easier to feel great about all the things. But starting yourself with that question, for real, this is not like hippie, cheesy, roll your eyes. I want you to actually ask that question. There's 3,500 people watching right now live. By the end of this day, 100,000 people will view this video. And so I want to challenge you, all 100,000 of you, to ask yourself that question. Do I actually love myself? The easiest way I think to look at this is if you are a parent, do you love yourself as well as you love your kids? Do you take care of yourself as well as you take care of your kids? Do you speak to yourself as kindly, as encouragingly, as gracefully as you speak to your kids? Because if you can't answer those questions in the affirmative, then man, you've got to challenge yourself as to why. You've got some work to do. You've got to look and you got to sort of break apart the pieces and look at the different pieces and ask yourself, what's going on? And hey, Sherry, I appreciate the honesty. Michelle, I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate any of you who are saying, I get that we're mean to ourselves, that we say hateful things. I read something once, like a meme or something, and I know I've referenced this to you guys before, but I read this thing where someone said, the very first thought that you have in your brain when it comes to negative thoughts, whether it's a negative thought about yourself or a negative thought, a judgment about someone else, they said the very first thought that we have in our brain is who the world has trained us to be. You see some woman, she's walking down the street and you're like, ugh, what's that outfit? Ugh, I can't believe she squeezed that butt into those jeans. The very first thought you have, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, ugh, what's that outfit? Or you're doing something in the back of your head, you're like, you're a terrible mom. A better mom would have made the breakfast from scratch. A better mom would have been able to do this without help today. A better mom, right? We have all these things. If I was a better sister, if I was a better girlfriend, if I was a better woman, my body would look different. My butt would be tighter. I'd have those six-pack abs. We have all these thoughts in the back of our head. The very first thought that you think of is typically what the world taught you to think. The second thought, the compassionate thought, the voice of kindness that typically comes over the top of that, the voice that follows it that says, man, do we want to be the kind of woman that says that about a stranger? The voice that says, nah, don't talk that way about yourself. The voice usually is not strong. Usually it sort of comes in as a whisper. Usually it's almost like a whimper. That follow-up voice, that's who you really are. The first voice is what the world taught us to believe. The second voice is who we really are. My God, I hope you have a second voice. Even more than that, I hope you get to a place where that second voice is what leads out in the back of your mind instead of the first. We are so a product of our environment. We are so a product of the family we were raised in, the country we grew up in, the religion we were part of. And most people, especially women, at least, like, gosh, I hope the next generation is different. I hope we do this different with our daughters. But most of us, I'm 37. I know we have all sorts of different ages on here. Most of us were not raised to love ourselves. Not one time. And this is not anything on my parents. Like, it was the 80s. Nobody was like, oh, are you teaching your daughters to love and respect themselves and stand in their own power and believe that their body is a gift? Nobody was having that conversation with our parents. Our parents were like, go ride your bike. Be home when the street lamp comes on. Like, go watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, there was not this conscious parenting that we have today. And so many of us were raised without these things. And that's not to put blame on anybody. I think it's Brene Brown who says, it's not your fault that you're effed up. I think she says the actual cuss word. I don't think I'm putting that quote in her mouth. But she says, it's not your fault that you're effed up, but it is your fault if you stay that way. Hello? Is this on? Brene, Queen Brene, it's not your fault if you're screwed up, but it is your fault if you stay that way. I love that kind of tough love. I do, and not everybody's into it. I love that kind of tough love. I love that reminder. And for me, back in the day, I used to think that part of growth was that I would get to a place where I would be forever evolved and I would be the absolute best in every single day. And the only way that that's possible is for me to live my life like some kind of robot, and I am not interested in that. I'm interested in the nuance of life. I'm interested in the things that happen in between. I'm interested in the days where I run a marathon, and I'm interested in the days on Sunday. Did I tell you guys this? Like, I did my long run, and then I watched the Michael Jordan documentary, which is so fantastic for any of you who love sort of high achievers and athletes and that. Oh, it was like 8-10 episodes. I binged. I don't binge. I don't watch shows. You guys know me. I read nonfiction books about like how to make your brain work better. And I was like, this is what I got today. This is the best that I can do. And the older I get, the more I realize is that if I want to have the next day where I am my best, if I want to have the day where I'm able to push, I have to have that day where I'm able to rest. So the challenge to you, the call to arms as we head into something new, whether it's a new school year, whether it's a new job, whether you're looking for a new job, whether it's a new relationship, whether it's the end of a relationship, whether it's a hard season, whether it's a great season, whatever you're headed into, it's new. We're in a new day, so it's a new time. It's a new opportunity, whatever it is for you guys. I want you to ask yourself, what does it look like to show up as the best version of me today? And let the best version of me be enough. The only way that works is if you are super honest with yourself about what the best really is. Let's do as good as we can. Let's try our hardest. Let's put in the effort. Let's show up. Let's love well. Let's love hard. Let's give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Let's love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Let's do the work to learn to love ourselves. Let's do it. But let that best be enough for today. Whatever that looks like for you. I want you to remind yourself of this as you go through this week. Just ask the check-in just a couple times a day. Here's my best advice. You need this check-in. I want you to grab your phone and I want you to put it as an alarm on your phone 2-3 times. You can set an alarm. Like, you set an alarm to wake up. I want you to set an alarm. It's 8:30. I want you to set an alarm for 10 a.m., 12:02, 3:37. Set an alarm on your phone. And you can change, at least an iPhone, I don't know how their phones work, but you can change the name of the alarm. So I do this all the time. I'll write myself motivational things. I'll say like 10% more effort, or be a servant leader, or be like The Rock. That's a real alarm on my phone. Whatever I feel like I need that day, and then I'll set them from random times. I won't even pay attention. And then I'll be going out my day, my alarm will go off, and I swear to you, I never remember why the alarm's going off. And I grab my phone, and it'll say, be a servant leader, lead with your heart. And I swear, I always get that alarm right when I need it, right when I'm about to walk into a meeting with my team, or right when I don't want to do my workout. I'll get a note that says, be like The Rock. And I'm like, all right, where's my chain to put around my neck and do some push-ups, right? So I want you to set an alarm on your phone today, at least one, maybe you need 2 or 3, that just asks you, am I doing the best that I can? And then I want you to answer honestly. Just a check-in. Yeah, babe, we're doing the best we can right now. Maybe tomorrow's a little bit better. This is the best we can do today. And if it's the best that you can, just be like, high five. Give yourself a high five. It looks like this. Just high five, self. We got this. We're killing it. Talk to yourself the way you talk to your kids. If you check in and you say, yes, this is the best that I'm doing, I want you to respond the way you would respond if your kid cleaned up their room without you asking. You're like, okay, you little king, you little queen. I want you to respond with enthusiasm. I want you to love yourself. This is how we learn how to speak to ourselves with love and compassion and energy, right? Check in. Do the best that you can with what you've got. I love you guys. As always, I am rooting for you. I'm your biggest cheerleader. I'm about to finish my pre-workout and head to do my workout. If you are on the Rise app with me, and I hope that you are, please go get your movement in. That's what I'm headed to do right now. So go get your movement in so we can check that off our box. And if you're doing your workout, tag me on social. I'm trying to share in my stories. I want to share your journey, whether it's something that you're doing, whether you're working out, whether it's a picture, whether it's your notification when you have a perfect day, whatever it is, the Rise app, check in on social, tag me so I can see. I love you guys. Have an awesome day. I will see you tomorrow.